I can't wait until the day that people become more sophisticated, but I guess that's never going to happen. Like in terms of like the politicians, I was watching a snippet of I was watching what was it? It was Cam and Company. He put up a clip of the town hall meeting or whatever, or not town hall meeting, but the debate between that I don't know, that white woman that's in the Senate in Georgia and the black pastor, that's in Georgia. And I've seen other clips, of stuff that he said. I was watching Coley on the War, and he had, him going up there talking about gun control. I'm just sitting there shaking my head. A black man sitting up in the church, you in Georgia, you in the South, talking about we don't need assault weapons, and that's not even what's impacting or affecting the black community. And you got all these, Jesus praising, white Jesus praising black people, black grandmas with the big church hat sitting up there, amen, I know that's right. And I'm like, and they surrounded by racists, let them tell it, right? You go outside of Atlanta, you go into the rural parts, they surrounded by racists. We need to ban them assault weapons and whatnot. I'm like, Nat Turner probably wish he had assault weapons, or AR-15s, which technically speaking aren't assault weapons. They're semi-automatic versions of assault weapons. But I'm just saying, like, every black person that was a slave and tried to liberate themselves, you in the deep South, you got, you talking about the place of strange fruit, and yet black people up there, oh, we need to ban these assault weapons. I mean, it just makes no sense. Like, and then the way that the politicians, like these modern day politicians, right? You can tell that the average, everyday, run-of-the-mill voter has to be not only a low information voter, but a low IQ voter. Because the way that they talk, the way that they speak, the way that they try to sound, professional, and in this sanitized setting, I just, like, I wish that people would, and it probably will never happen, but I hope that, like, when we get old and we're like the people that don't have anything but go out and vote, right? I hope that, like, we're a little bit more informed than that, right? I hope that, because the way that they talk, the way that these senators or wannabe senators up there talking, it's like they're talking to people like literally all the information that they're going to get are from the people, or from the senators themselves talking, or the incumbent in the what's the other person called, the what's the word that I'm looking for? The other person that's trying to get the office, they're trying to get the spot, right? It's like the way that they're talking is though they know they're talking to people that all the information that they're going to get on the topic is what's coming out of their mouths, because they don't take the time to go and look up the information themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, that, like, just irks the shit out of me. They go up there and it's all about, likability. Like, a lot of people don't even care about the topics. They're too lazy, too intellectually lazy to even look it up. They don't even care about the topics. And they're just like, oh, well, he looks nice in a suit, or, she looks like, she could be a mother, or I like the way that they spoke. And, and it's like, that's such old people shit, man. Like, I care about the substance. Like, I care about what you're talking about. I care about whether you're actually making sense. Not, and I'm saying I want to hear the more in-depth conversation. I want to hear some little sound bites. You know what I mean? Like, and most of the time, the sound bites aren't even really sound. They're so dry. They're just so dry. Well, that's an untruth, propagated by the left. Right? And I'm saying it probably is. But, the same thing goes in the opposite direction. That's an untruth propagated by the radical right and the Proud Boys. And, just everybody's just up there just throwing all this slander and shit. You can't get down to, like, what it actually is. I think both parties are full of shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like nobody else has figured out, like, the parties are full of shit. Like everybody's literally going up there with like this splitting attitude where it's like the left is all good and not bad, nothing's bad, and the right is all good and nothing's bad. I'm like, really? Like no nuance, like no, like so let me get this right. So you're like a poor working class white person and you're in rural Georgia, and you mean to tell me that you agree with absolutely everything that the conservatives are saying, like absolutely everything, and everything that they're saying is going to positively impact your life? You know what I mean? And then I look at the black people and I'm like, really? Like we didn't have 40 years, 50 years of this democratic bullshit, and they keep saying the same thing and empty promises, and you up there, the Republicans have nothing to offer me, and the Democrats, they're the goodness in the universe because we have to fight racism. Right? When, again, black people don't even pay for any of the black politicians because black people don't have businesses, therefore they don't have the capital, to basically, pay for lobbyists and all these people that the black politicians answer to. That's how you get the Maxine Waters and the Sheila Jacksons and the Elijah Cummings and the what's the other dude's name that passed away. You know what I'm saying? This is how you get all them people that don't serve black people's interests, because they get in there. Once they get in there, black people gotta vote for the black person for the next 50 years, right? And don't care nothing about no goddamn substance. Just nothing about substance, nothing about what's going on. They just, the white person's racist and we got to vote for the black person. And I'm like, the white person might be racist. They pull up clips and all the other type of shit of them saying some out of pocket, wild racist shit, but I'm like, but the black person ain't doing nothing for you though. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't care if a white person was I don't care if they were the grand wizard. If they were the grand wizard and black people said, look, I got 50,000 votes right here. You gonna do this, and this if you want these votes, and I need you to put that on paper. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then hold them to it, and then hold them to it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I want. That's what I need. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care what you're saying. I care about what your deeds are, what you're doing, what you've done, what you've accomplished. Am I benefiting? That's what matters. I don't give a fuck about your personality. I don't give a fuck about how I feel about you. I don't give a shit about none of that stuff. And it's like, damn, does anybody ever grow out of this? People 80 years old talking about, I like his tie. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so frustrating for an intelligent person to sit there and watch this bullshit. You know what I mean? And I'm like, and not even recognizing when somebody's up there saying a whole bunch of nothing. I'm like, you said nothing. You didn't say anything. You said nothing of substance. It's just it's classic, political talking point sound bites. Nothing that actually pertains to Georgians or Georgia. Talking about some national agenda. Whether it's a national Republican agenda or a national Democratic agenda. I'm like, you a senator. I give a fuck about what's going on in Georgia. That's what I care about. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously speaking, like, when's the last time they had a mass shooting in Georgia? Georgia got all the guns. When have they had a mass shooting in Georgia? Just saying. I'm trying to recall. They've been in other states that have lax gun laws and all that stuff. You know what I mean? But I'm like, when is the last time they had in Georgia? Like, apparently, what's going on in Georgia, is working for Georgians, right? Like, you're always going to have low levels of crime and everything else, and this is why, the Democrats, they want to say, oh, well, we need to ban shit federally, as though disarming all the law-abiding people is going to make the criminals, not do what they do. And if you do it at a state level, and then you're surrounded by a bunch of states, that are essentially, have not strict gun laws, lax gun laws, they're just going to go to those states, get their girlfriend to buy, do a straw purchase and then bring it back into the state, or however they get it, stolen guns, whatever, however they're going to get it, they're going to get them. I mean, point blank, period. It is what it is. But this whole, disarm everybody so that, all the good people are out there with nothing but their ass. I'm like, especially from black people, like black people are the ones that irritate me the most. As much as black people bitch about racism and white supremacy and all these people that marched on Charlottesville and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, God damn it, shoot back, motherfucker. Like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know where all this slave mentality, bitch assness comes from. Like this whole, I mean, it's like, the funny thing is right. It's like you got the white conservatives. They like black people. They don't care about black people or want black people to have guns, but they want black people to side with them so they don't lose their guns. But the whole reason why black people support gun control is because of the tenets of white Jesus and Christianity that white people gave us, that has black people believing that they don't need a firearm, that all they need is the protection of the sweet twinkle of white Jesus, that the light of Christ is going to come down them and protect them, even though the white Jesus didn't protect them black people that were in the AME church when Dylann Roof went in there and shot the place up. Like that's the shit that's hilarious. And like I told you, white people got they got the white version, the masses version of Christianity. Right? While black people talking about turn the other cheek, slavery version of Christianity, white people up there talking about, praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. They have a whole different orientation when it comes to their Christianity. Okay? They operate like they're archangels in the Bible. I will protect what's mine. Like they have a whole different orientation. Black people's orientation is like, no, we must stop the evils of the world. And if everybody's just doing good and the right thing. And what's so stupid is the majority of black people that run around talking about Christian, they're the ones that got the most kids out of wedlock. They're the ones that have teen pregnancies. They're the ones that are out here fornicating all over the place, STDs all over the place, murder through the roof. I'm just saying, I know that a lot of that shit comes from, the lack of resources that black people have access to in the black community. But I'm saying, if you're going to make it all about white Jesus and the Bible and the principles of Christianity, you know what I mean? You would think that would at least curb, the hedonism that goes on in the freaking black community. But it doesn't. So you got a bunch of black people that are the biggest heathens in the world talking about how much it's all about Christianity and the sweet twinkle of white Jesus. Like, this shit don't make no fucking sense. No sense. It's bullshit. The evils that plague the black community come more from our socioeconomic condition and the poverty and the stress that people are living under than it has anything to do with whether you're following Christianity or not, or whether you're following Islam or not. Ain't got a fucking thing to do with that. But I know y'all niggas want to sit around, you want to be magical as fuck. You know what I mean? You can't talk no sense into people. Low information voters, y'all go out there and just I mean, you don't even challenge your politicians. Like they come serve up to you the Democratic agenda as opposed to you telling them what the fuck you want and what you demand. Like, it's mind-blowing how politics work. The Democrats come through and tell you that you need, that this is what we're doing. You need to get on board. And if you don't support it, you ain't black. And y'all go out there and y'all eat it up. Y'all eat it up. Eat it up. I swear, like most of the black people that are out there, they don't need to be voting. That's like, seriously speaking, y'all don't need to vote. Like some of you need to have your voting rights taken away because I'm like you're not informed when you vote. You're just not informed. You don't know anything about what you're voting for, other than these general ideas. These large, like generalized ideas about the left is progressive and the left is for black people. And even though they haven't done anything for black people, they for black people. The conservatives, they's racist and they're all about big business and they're all about a personal responsibility without any context, or there's a double standard of personal responsibility where with white people, again, when they do opioids, they need understanding, compassion, and all that. But when it comes to black people, when black people had the crack epidemic, it was personal responsibility, but it's not personal responsibility to white people. And that's racist because it's a double standard. And that's why I'm voting Democrat, because, I don't support racism. And the white people that support the conservatives, a lot of them is racist, and I just can't see myself on their side, even though the Democrats really ain't done nothing for black people for the last 40, 50, 60 years. So, I always got to go vote Democrat and go, just same way Big Mama go vote. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing, because if people find out that I ain't support Democrats, oh, man, they're going to be blaming me. I'm going to lose my social circles, and people ain't going to be friends with me. And my mama and my aunt, is going to talk real bad about me in the church. And, that's why I can't vote for the other side. Right? I mean, this is how... This is how we vote. And then the women, they got their own version of that, Big Mama and feminism and we support LGBT, even though a couple years ago it was down low niggas are the reason why black women got AIDS, but now we support, LGBT and these women are, if these men want to be women, they can be women, God damn it, all this other shit. And then these women will turn right around and start talking about how the black community is broken and why they don't have any real men, even though they co-signed the party that does nothing but attacks manhood. Why don't we have any real men in the community? Some shit popped off. Oh, we're not protected. Oh, a black man, why don't you protect us? What, with the guns that you just had banned? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just... Black people, they frustrate the hell out of me. They really, really do. They really, 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 really do. And don't get me wrong, the white people, they got their own version. All them people voting for Trump and everything. I could say the same thing. They're not informed. They're low information voters. Same shit, They look at it like, oh, well, I got to vote Republican because, the blacks will take over. And, just all type of stuff, just all and whiteness is being attacked, and all, like as though white people don't control the overwhelming majority of everything in America. Like, no, we gotta make sure we're not losing ground. I'm like, but you only have a high school education. Well, that doesn't matter. I'm still a member of the dominant group, and I'm still ahead of you. So, I gotta maintain the status quo. So not looking at it from a class standpoint, looking at it from a racial standpoint, but then calling the black guy racist and saying that only the black guy is seeing things from a racial standpoint, but white people don't, which is bullshit. This shit is just dumb. And as long as people don't cut through the bullshit and get to the substance, like this is American politics. Then you got the Russians, they come in, they make up fake accounts on Facebook. They try to pretend like they're a black person, go into some white space, start agitating motherfuckers, pretend that they're a white person, which they are white people. But I'm saying go into a black space and start agitating motherfuckers and then, just creating more division and shit like that. I fully believe that that's what went down. I fully believe it because I'm saying America's been doing all type of shit to influence elections around the world. And when it comes to, Russia, I'm saying, hey, their whole internet is just open. Their Facebooks are open. Their everything is just open, with the U.S. internet. They're like the only country that doesn't really regulate the internet like that, even though they're trying to with the, trying to get the, all this censorship shit that you see on YouTube. But, I'm saying with that Trump election, the last one that we had, or the one previously, his first election, I'm saying, he what was I saying? I just lost my train of thought. With the Trump election, no, I'm saying, the internet was wide the hell open. You know what I mean? And people were being influenced by the influencers. And that's another thing that's under attack, because the influencers have more influence on the people than a lot of the mainstream media does. Younger people don't listen to mainstream media. Younger people listen to influencers. They go and they listen to, Steven Crowder, or they go and they listen to, the Black Truth Professor, or they go and they listen to, or Professor Black Truth. Why do I keep saying his shit backwards? They go and they listen to Black Authority. They go and they listen to, Phil Scott. You know what I'm saying? These are the people that they go and listen to. They don't go and they don't go and watch mainstream media. They just don't. They're just like, whatever. They roll their eyes. Only people that are listening to mainstream media are black women, black feminists, and old black folks. That's pretty much it. You know, in the black community, black men ain't paying none of that shit no mind. Well, actually, no, I can't say that because the majority of black people did vote for the Democrats, so I can't say that. But I was saying there's more black men, they don't pay that shit no mind. They go and they look elsewhere. But, you know, be it the fact that, most of the black community, I don't believe most of the black community is young black men. You know what I mean? Like that age group between, I'd say 20 and 40. I'd say, yeah, like 20 and 40, like they're not going for that shit. But the older generation of black folks, like, they're black men specifically, like they're as bad as the church hat wearing black women. Anyway, let me go eat. That's my video. SWP out.
And so somebody decided that they had a bright idea to pass a piece of legislation that will allow for guns and concealed weapons to be carried in churches. Have you ever been to a church meeting? That's the last place.
21-year-old Dylan Roof could hear the families, but he could not see them. Bond was set at $1 million on one of the charges. Justice correspondent Jeff Pegues has more from that hearing. Jeff?
Scott, Dylan Roof is being held in a jail cell in a building behind this barbed wire fence. We're told that he's in solitary confinement and under suicide watch.
What is your age?
21.
Dylan Roof stood emotionless as he heard the charges against him. 9 counts of murder for the 3 men and 6 women investigators say he gunned down Wednesday night.
Charleston is a very strong community. We have big hearts.
From the bench, Chief Magistrate James Gosnell expressed sympathy and support for both the victims of the shooting and Roof's family.
We must find it in our heart at some point in time, not only to help those that are victims, but to also help his family as well.
All units responding, 110 Calhoun State.
Active shooter, multiple people down.
New details emerged today about Wednesday's horrific rampage. According to a warrant for his arrest, Roof, seen here on surveillance video, entered Emmanuel AME Church around 8:06 p.m. wearing a fanny pack. After attending a Bible study class for an hour, the court documents say he stood up and pulled out a handgun and began shooting. All 9 victims were shot multiple times. The warrant says that before Roof left, he stood over a witness and uttered a racially inflammatory statement. CBS News has learned Roof told a witness that he had spared her life so she could tell others what happened. In addition to her, a woman and a 5-year-old boy also survived by playing dead. Joseph Riley is the mayor of Charleston, South Carolina.
I knew many of these people. I admired them and loved them and worked with them. And so it's the hardest thing I've done in this job and probably the hardest thing I'll do in my life.
Roof evaded capture for more than 12 hours. According to the warrant, Roof's father and uncle recognized him from the surveillance image released to the public and contacted the Charleston Police Department. Roof's father also told police his son owned a .45 caliber handgun. When Roof was apprehended in Shelby, North Carolina yesterday, law enforcement sources say a Glock 41, a .45 caliber handgun, was found in his car. He was arrested and taken to the Shelby police station.
Why did you do it?
Law enforcement sources say during an interrogation, Roof revealed that he had been planning the attack for some time and that he chose the church because it was an historic African-American church. Sources say he also revealed that while he was sitting in the Bible study, he considered abandoning his plan, but then changed his mind because a source says he thought if he didn't do it, no one else would. If convicted, Roof could get the death penalty. And Scott, we learned today that the Department of Justice is investigating this case as both a hate crime and an act of domestic terrorism.
Jeff Pegues on the investigation for us tonight. Jeff, thank you very much.
You know, that's why I was sitting there for 15 minutes, just like, because I know I could have just walked out, because they didn't say anything to me about the thing on my belt. So I could have walked out, and that's what I was just thinking, But then I just, I don't know, it's like, not, you want to say spur of the moment, but you know, I just finally decided I had to do it. And that's pretty much it.
Well, that goes to the next question. Why did you have to do it?
Oh, I had to do it.
How come? I mean, that's what I don't know. I mean,
well, I had to do it because somebody had to do something.
So somebody decided that they had a bright idea to pass a piece of legislation that will allow for guns and concealed weapons to be carried in churches. Have you ever been to a church meeting? That's the last place.